Okay, going to start the recording. We're going to do the three different breath patterns. We're going to start with a nice, slow, deep breathing, a very meditative kind of breathing. And a particular pattern, I've actually got it, I recorded a guided meditation with this particular pattern we're going to be doing. And then we're going to just be experiencing and experimenting with something called the breath of fire. Those of you, if you're yoga teachers, you know what it is, or if you've really dived into yoga, you've probably experienced something like it with the breath of fire. But I want you to just experience it. That's all. Just experience it. Don't necessarily draw any conclusions from it, but just to experience it. And then the third pattern that we're going to work with is the one that will actually be used quite extensively in the breathwork workshop that I'll be doing. It's called conscious connected breathwork. And what that is, literally no pause between the exhale and the inhale. It's quite an experience. Over a fairly short period of time, it can move you quite naturally into altered states of consciousness. And in those altered states of consciousness, there's a couple of things can happen. One, there could be a cathartic process, maybe old emotional wounds that come to the surface so they can be released. And the other is spiritual revelations, insights, images, etc. I've done quite a bit of breath work in that way, and I love it. I love it. One thing, you don't need any plant medicines or other kind of psychedelics or anything like that. And I can attest to it on many, many times that when I've done that sort of breath work over a period of time, just amazing, amazing insights. And again, we'll get to that. Short. We're not going to do an hour and a half of it. We're only going to do a few short minutes of it. But I want you to experience what that's like, and at least get a sense of that. And I'll give you some tips about it before we do it, because it's really not a full-on breathwork workshop. But I am going to do that. It's limited to 16 people, so I can manage it. Make sure I'm there, available for people, and I think you'll find it to be worthwhile, especially going into the holidays and into the depths of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. And for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand, etc., it'd be a great opportunity to welcome spring into the season of spring. So the first one, now like Richard, what you did is the slow, deep breathing. This one is counting in your mind 1 through 4, and then repeating that. I call it it's kind of a corny name in a way, but I call it the 4x4 breath work. And what that means, you count to 4, and then when you get to 4, you start again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you do that 4 times, and then you relax. So I invite you to do this. Do this at your own pace. I'm going to count, but the counting may be just dissimilar to the pattern that you're finding yourself in. So the first thing to do, as Richard noted in the prayer, and again, thank you, Richard, for that, is to be grounded. And all that simply means is be aware of where your feet are connected to the earth. Be aware of your body in the chair. Most of you, it looks like, are sitting in a chair. So be aware of your body. Wiggle your body a little bit. Move your neck. Stretch a little bit so that you bring that awareness to your body. That's all you need to do right now. One of the premises of this, that as I did the write-up on this and was planning for it, is something that I'm very aware of in myself, and I think that it's probably true for a lot of people, is how shallow we breathe. We tend to breathe very shallow. I'll catch myself doing that and then almost trying to literally catch my breath, when I've been breathing shallow, like, and then take a nice deep breath. That's that sort of thing. The body breathes. The body breathes itself. What I'm thinking about as I pause there for a few moments is that really the body does breathe itself. We are so blessed to be able to breathe. A little mantra that I came up with, I was actually suggested to me in one of my meditations, is a very short 3 sentence mantra. I breathe. I exist. I am alive. And just continuing to recycle that as you breathe. I breathe. I exist. I am alive. And then repeating that. You can do that on your own. So here's what I'd like to have you do is, if you're willing, is just close your eyes and just start just noticing your breath. Before we actually begin, just noticing the rise and the fall, noticing the chest expanding, noticing the stomach, the diaphragm moving in and out as you breathe. Slow, faster, it doesn't matter. What a blessing just to be able to breathe. It is proof that we're alive. And again, I shared this last week too, that part of one of the meditations when I was having a conversation with one of the guides, and it was about what's the truth, what really is there a bottom line truth or something like that, and they just made it real simple, said it's all about the breath. And that's been a theme with me for the last few weeks actually. So just be aware of your breath, and then in just a moment we'll start with the count, the 4x4. And again, as you breathe, and particularly as you exhale, just allow your body to relax. If you need to, again, move your body in some way, your shoulders, your neck, your butt, your legs, anything, just, feel free to do so. It's a good way to just simply release, the tension from the day or the energy that's stored up there. And we'll begin with the first breath, 1. You can inhale through your nose and out the mouth, or inhale and exhale through your nose. 2. Nice deep breath. Good. 3. Nice full deep breath. Exhale. And 4. Good. 1. And we cycle through again. 2. 3. And 4. And round 3. 1. Good. 2. Good. And 3. And 4. Nice and easy. And 4th round here. 1. Yeah, release. And 2. My body breathes itself. And 3. And 4. And continue the breath pattern. My body breathes itself. I breathe. I exist. I am alive. And just allow yourself to breathe a little bit more in that delicious pattern. Being aware of any remaining tension in your body and allowing it to just simply be released without effort or stress or any of that just by your breathing out. And any thoughts, just notice the thoughts as if you were watching birds pass by one at a time. Your field of vision. My body breathes itself. I am, on the inhale, relaxed as you exhale. Good. I am relaxed. Good. And on your own, about another 4 times, I am relaxed. I am on the inhale. And relaxed on the exhale. Good. 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 And a few more breaths. Good. Good. There you go. All right, now bring your attention and awareness back here to the room. Look around the room a little bit. That helps you orient yourself. All right, good. And somehow I lost the video here. Joni, you were on the video, sorry. Um, well, I don't know how to get back to speaker, to be on the speaker. Anyway, um, breathe. There we go. Ah, shoot, I'm not sure how to do this. There I am. Anyway, I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Maybe a little louder voice, that's all that's needed. Joni, put your video back on. Sorry about that. Anyway, notice how you feel just in doing that. And sorry for the disruption there towards the end. Just notice how you feel. Notice if there's areas of your body you want to move, anything like that. Good. I also encourage you to, wonderful thing about plants and trees is they are freely giving oxygen for us, as well as many other species. And it's a natural exchange to give back the carbon dioxide that to our bodies uh, is waste in a sense. I don't hesitate to call it waste, but it's a gift that we give back to the trees in this amazing cycle, with our brothers and sisters, the trees and the plant people. So, good. Next, here we go. Breath of fire. Okay. I'll qualify this by saying I'm not an expert on this. I do it on occasion, but I don't do it like as a regular discipline. Probably yoga teachers will do this quite frequently. But it's pretty fascinating in so many ways. It's all through the nose. So if you have to blow your nose, go ahead and do so now. Clear it out because otherwise it'll get cleared out with this one. What you want to do basically is you want to do quick breathing, the breath of fire. Some of you who are old enough to remember the movie Harold and Maude. Maude was doing that in the movie, if you remember right. Joni, you have to mute, dear. Otherwise, you're going to show up here. That's it. Thank you. There we go. Oh, pooey. It's doing it again. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. Um, the breath of fire is just very, very rapid breathing. Now, technically, what they say is 25 breaths, and then there's a procedure to follow after the breath of fire. Now, I'm going to show it to you, and it's hard. I won't be able to guide you in it other than to show you and demonstrate how this is done. Here's how it looks and how it feels. And then a deep breath. Hold it. Put your hand on your diaphragm. Head down. And then release. One more time. 25 breaths. Okay, you can count them in your head. 25 breaths. And then you hand on the diaphragm. Head down. Take a deep breath and hold it just for a few seconds and see how that feels. In fact, let's do it together, okay? We won't all necessarily be in sync, but that's okay. So I'm going to do it with you. So whenever you're ready, again, 25 breaths through the nose, in and out through the nose as best you can. And then hand on the diaphragm area. You got to feel that there. And then head down, take a deep breath in, hold it, and then release. Okay, give it a go. Let's see what happens here. Here we go. On your own, go ahead. And then allow your breath to return just to a natural, relaxed rhythm. What I'm experiencing is sort of a vibrational quality in my body. Um, Probably, I'm guessing, oxygenated a little bit more. A certain, I would say, an increased alertness as I look around. My eyes feel like they're open a little bit more. My stomach is more relaxed. The diaphragm, my solar plexus, the third chakra. So just be aware of whatever's going on in your body. I can feel the tingly kind of feeling all the way down through my legs and through my feet. So I don't know if any of you are noticing any of that. Just very mild. On a scale of 10, it's probably like a 2, just barely noticeable. All right, let's do that one more time. Okay. There I did notice offhand a question. Yeah, it increases your energy. Yes. I mean, you be the testament to that, whatever your experience is, but it tends to increase your energy. So let's do it one more time. Again, 25 breaths. Inhale. Try it with your hand over your diaphragm this time. And you can feel your diaphragm moving typically. Okay, nice, straight, on your own. Go. And again, let your breathing resume to a normal pace, just a natural pace. Just be aware of what's happening in your body. Thoughts that may surface, images, whatever may happen there. Good. Okay, good. Looking around the room. Somebody said maybe good for a 3 p.m. burnout in the afternoon instead of coffee, in the afternoon. Okay. Now I want to talk about I'm going to talk about the third pattern of breathing, which is conscious connected breath work or breathing, which is employed in breath work. The originations of this model of breathwork started with rebirthing back in the 60s, I believe it was. Um, and then it's evolved in some different channels or different pathways. I was I was introduced to it with a process called vivation. Went to Harbin Hot Springs when it was still around, and in a workshop there, and we every day we did 2 breathing sessions. It was very interesting with this conscious connected breath work. And I must say, I thought it was kind of weird at first when I first tried it, but and I thought, how can you breathe that way for an hour and a half, which is what the length of the sessions were, an hour and a half. I said, that's ridiculous, breathe that way. So then I practiced it probably a good 8 or 9 years. And then as things happened, it fell off and I moved on to some other kinds of adventures and got away from that sort of breath work until I was in New England. And I was at the behest, or I guest of some friends there as I was doing some workshops in the Boston or the Massachusetts area. And I remember Karen, some of you might know her, Karen Paulino, very gifted individual. Karen and her husband Louis had been practicing something called holotropic breath work. I'll tell you what that is in a sec. And they offered to monitor me or to sit with me while I did this. And so I did, and I had the most memorable experience out of that is after an hour and a half, or sometime during the hour and a half, I was taken back to meet the first shaman. Now, is that something I can prove? No, I can't. But it was an experience that came out of the breath work. It was really, really powerful to meet the first shaman. And I loved it. So when I got back home, I looked up holotropic breath work to learn a little bit more about it. And here's what I learned briefly. Stanislav Grof, God, he's in his 90s at this point. I don't know how old he's, like 94, 95, but still very vital. And he is one of the old line psychologists back in the early 60s before it became illegal, was doing LSD therapy with clients with some considerable success, interestingly enough. We've come full circle now where we're hearing more and more about using plant medicines, maybe LSD too, I don't know, but plant medicines, particularly psilocybin or the derivative from magic mushrooms called psilocybin, that will, with facilitation, somebody's there in the room with you as you do this. In 1964, LSD became illegal. It became a Schedule 1 substance, so it was off the books. And Grof went on and eventually developed this thing called holotropic breathwork. Get this, 3 hours, a 3-hour process, and each hour has like a different sort of a rhythm or a pace to it. Music is put to it that helps guide you through this, etc. And I attended quite a few, actually, probably about 7 or 8 holotropic breathworks here in the Los Angeles area, and I was in awe of it, amazed. I went, I need to be doing this more. So I ended up teaching some, not called holotropic breathwork. I'm not allowed to do that. It's illegal, it's copyrighted and all that. But there is a modification that is based on my experiences and what I was taught about breathwork. That is, I'm calling it shamanic breathwork. Somebody trademarked that, but I don't have a problem because I think it's, how can you trademark shamanism? I don't, if I'm in trouble, I'll hear about it. But I find there's a real shamanic element to it. And what I've done is designed a music that goes along for an hour and a half that modulates or helps encourage the increase in the rate of the breath. And I'll show you what I mean. And we're going to be doing that in this breathwork workshop online. What I want you to do, everybody, on your own, just for a few moments, you don't have to do this for any length of time, maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, is try this. It's conscious, connected breathing. And what that simply means, some people call it circular breathing. That to me sounds too much like what you do with the didgeridoo, but it's very similar. But conscious connected breath breathing is where you have no pause, absolutely no pause. And hear that one more time, no pause between the inhale and the exhale. No pause between the inhale and the exhale. So if you can see it, let me lower the camera a little bit here. You can watch my diaphragm as well. And it'll look like this. I'm going to do it very slowly, and that's all I want you to do is do it very, very slowly. Okay, there's no need to speed it up right now. In a breathwork workshop, typically what you'll do is as things get intense, that you'll speed it up, and I'll demonstrate that as well. But first, just the slow, no pause type of breathing, and it can be through the mouth or through the nose. As things get intense, you'll tend to breathe through your mouth. But to start with, it's just a breathing through the nose, maybe exhaling through the mouth. So it's something like this. Now, after just, I don't know, half a dozen breaths like that, I notice a lightheadedness, which is perfectly normal. Maybe a little bit of tingling in my forearms is mostly where I experience it. Nothing, nothing dangerous or life-threatening. That's not it. It's just the body is oxygenating more than it's used to when you do that kind of breathing. So I'd like you all to try it do about 7 or 8 breaths like that. Do some slow, deep breathing and just see what you can do to connect the breath, just like I did. And I'll do the same thing with you. Okay? On your own, whenever you're ready, go ahead and give it a shot. Good. And then after a few breaths, just return to normal state of breathing. Good job, guys. One can never have too many guitars. So that's conscious connected breathing. When you are actually doing it as a more formal breathwork session, a lot of times, as I mentioned, what will happen is that there will be intensities. Your body, if there's, let's say, old memories or memories of being wounded or something like that may come up, or you get these startling spiritual insights and visions and such, which could happen. I'm not going to say it will, but could happen either way. Uh, the body tends to remember the tightening during any kind of wounding. And so what'll happen is, of course, your body's going to want to, like my shoulders going up. The body's going to want to do that as an adaptive, habitual, protective measure. Adaptive, habitual, protective measure. That's just what we do. And the body, as Bessel van der Kolk said in his excellent book called The Body Keeps the Score, it's in the body. That's I love somatic therapy for that reason, is that it works more directly with the body and how it's connected to the mind and the sensations, etc., in the body, and the beliefs and the core beliefs that come out of that. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. So what'll happen though in breath work, and what I've done is designed the music accordingly, is the music will increase in its pace, and ideally what you do is you keep up with the pace of the music, because again that will help induce that altered state for both the clearing, of old wounds, as well as the possibility of for lack of a better term, spiritual revelations, insights, visions, etc. and I honestly don't know what will happen for you. But I will tell you that the breathe it gets quite an experience. You know, I've done it several times, as I said, and used to teach it in a few years ago, and then I've uptaken it online here, and it'll look something like this. Now, I went through that very rapidly, so it doesn't develop into that rapid of breathing pattern right away. Sometimes it takes a while. I'm also a little lightheaded right now, so I'll be with you in a second. Got to get some water. So, if you guys want to try it, do one of two things. Either again, do just a few of the slow, deep breaths. It's okay. The conscious connected breathing. Or if you want to try, just increase the pace a little bit just to feel that. And if you get really dizzy, you can just always just lean over, put your head down between your knees or something like that. But it's more just a lightheadedness, and it's quite normal, under these circumstances. And in any breath work, whatever you do with me or anybody else, you're going to be lying down anyway. You won't be sitting. Okay, it's much better when you're lying down. So let's give it a go. See what you think, and do it at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. Again, if you want to just keep it slow for a few breaths, fine. If you want to take it, let's say 30 seconds, and increase the rate, just give it a try. Okay, give it a try and see how it feels to you, and then we'll talk about it together. Okay, well, when you're ready, you're on your own. Woo! All right. All right, that's a sampler. Okay, and again, if it seems ridiculous and kind of insane to breathe that way for an hour and a half, I understand totally. Been there, done that. And I just invite you to experience it. And again, whether with me, there's other online breathworks as well, but we got one coming up, and welcome to have you there. It's limited to 16 people. And when is it? It's December 10th, I think it is. Yeah, 10th, 5 to 10. And that's enough, enough of that. It's there. If you want to do it, great. Sign up for it. All right, I'm going to end the recording here, and it will be eventually it'll be put up. We'll put it up on Facebook. So if you want to practice that, on your own, that's perfectly fine. And Joni, my apologies. I shut your video off because you're going to show up in the recording. My apologies. I don't know how that happened. Again, uh, technological ignorance on my part with Zoom. All right, let me shut that